Training alone as a footballer can sometimes be difficult. After all, football is played with 21 other players out on the field. But it's not always possible in our quest to reach our dreams that we can find someone to train with or someone to help us out with our training. However, I'm here to tell you that you don't have to worry about it. Today I want to show you that to train alone, all you really need is a bit of creativity and a belief and a trust in yourself that what you're doing is right. You won't always be able to do the perfect exercises, train on flawless pitches, or even find partners to train with. Does that mean you shouldn't do it? Of course not. We do what we can with what we have right now in this moment in time. Right now for me, that means taking Project Reborn to the island of Cyprus, where I'm currently going through one of the biggest adventures of my life, but an adventure where I also train by myself, without any partners. And in this video, I'll show you exactly what I did, why I did it, and how you can do the same if you want ideas on how you can train alone. Buckle up and get ready for part 2 of Project Reborn Cyprus Edition. Good morning and welcome to day 4 of the Cyprus adventure. We start this morning off with a 6:30 sunrise swim in the Mediterranean Sea. A great way to add cardio into your workout routine without risking overloading your legs. And I mean, just look at this water. But what happened on day 3, you may ask? Actually, I didn't train at all, and there was a good reason why, which I will tell you about in just a minute.
Var det jobbigt?
Alltså... Jag vet inte vad jag ska säga. Extremely early morning session here on day 4 in Cyprus. Went for a swim all the way around from that beach. It was definitely a special experience, and I even encountered some rocks on the way because in some places it was very shallow and I didn't see it until I hit the rocks. But it was a good workout to work a bit on that cardio. Didn't feel the best yesterday, and my readings on the whoop showed that I was not in a good state after the first day of training. And the first day was an intense one, a hectic one. I did the track session, which was very intense. It was intervals, it was a lot of work on my central nervous system, working that anaerobic endurance and getting that cardio work in. And then it was a trip to Nicosia and to train with Christos, and it was actually more intense than I thought beforehand. And I got quite a high strain from it on the whoop, and that's what I wanted to talk about now, because today the whoop showed recovery within the red. And if you are a whoop user, you know that when you're in the red, it's usually something's up, you're sick, or you have had a tough training session, or a few training sessions in my case, and that tells me that my body isn't fully recovered from yesterday's work. And I also feel kind of bad today. So that's why I decided, based on how I feel and based on what the whoop told me, with an elevated heart rate and with a lowered HRV, which is your heart rate variability, based on those stats that I got and based on how I feel today, I decided that today will be kind of a lighter day, where maybe we'll go for a bit of a walk, explore the area here in 𝗶𝗏𝗄𝗃, and see what we can find, basically. And if you're interested in acquiring the whoop yourself, this bad boy, which has stayed on my arm since 2021, so more than 4 years I've had the whoop now, and I still feel like it's one of the best tools that you can use to, you know, being able to train harder, learn how your body works, recover quicker. I've made a few videos on the Whoop that you can watch if you want more information on it. But if you use the link within the description down below, you will get your first month for free, along with a free Whoop strap, if you feel like that's something for you. But I use the Whoop and I will continue using the Whoop for the foreseeable future because I think it's the best tool, as I said, for your recovery and for everything that involves. A very easy day yesterday, and then a great start to this morning and to watch a beautiful sunrise. But now it's time to head back home and get going with the rest of the day. We still have a lot of days here left in Cyprus, and we'll see what the future awaits. Okay, so straight back home and straight into another training session. We're gonna train here just outside our villa by the pool. So me and Alex is gonna put in a bodyweight strength training session because we don't have any tools at our disposal, like perhaps many of you don't have access to gyms and all that, because you usually write that in the comments. So you should be able to do all these exercises that we will do now. These exercises will be geared slightly more towards endurance, because we don't have any access to any external weights, so we can't achieve that overload through doing like few reps with high weights. Since we don't have access to them, we will go for bodyweight exercises and do like a circuit style session. But you will see everything once we get going. Let's go.
Ando bien play sin avión, tengo el mundo entero bailando reggaetón. Estamos bien, estamos al 100, mato la liga, rompo la tarima, nadie por encima nosotros. Y lo hicimos otra vez.
So heading straight into the session, what we started off with was a circuit. So we went for 2 laps of lower body exercises. And what we saw first was the squats, then the lunges. Then we did these single leg RDLs, which work our balance, our hamstring strength. Working unilaterally, working off of one leg always helps you with that balance, and they also make the exercises harder. So if you think that working off 2 legs is easy, you can always try to do exercises off of 1 leg, and you will see greater adaptations and greater strength gains and greater balance gains than if you would work bilaterally on 2 legs. And we finished off with the wall sit, which is a grueling one for about 1 to 2 minutes before resting, going again, and then heading into the upper body exercises. We worked on some incline push-ups, some planks for 45 seconds up to a minute, and we finished off with some tricep dips on the chairs, and we did this for 2 laps as well.
I've come to realize something over the past few years, especially when I've trained with higher level players, that the biggest difference between levels, it usually doesn't have much to do with your skill on the ball or how fast you can run. Of course these things are important, but they're not the most important. To me and to almost every coach and player that I've talked to, the most important skill in football is decision making. How fast you see things, how often you scan, and how quickly and consistently you can make the right decisions. And that's what I've understood more and more over the past few years, and that's why I've decided to put more effort into improving that area of my game. And that's where a few years ago I found out about VR training and about 𝗣𝗐𝗄𝗏, who is also kindly sponsoring today's video and is continuing to assist me in reaching my career goals. Because when I train in VR and in 𝗣𝗐𝗏𝗏, I'm constantly being placed in different scenarios where I have to scan, make quick and correct decisions while staying sharp under pressure. I get to train the exact same thought process that would otherwise require me being out here on the pitch playing a game. But now I can practice that individually, and once I decide to go back to team football, my brain will still have gotten the important repetitions without actually playing the game. 𝗣𝗐𝗏𝗏 is not about replacing your training, but it's a really useful tool that helps me keep developing one of the most important areas of football. And if you want to practice in VR and in 𝗣𝗐𝗏𝗏, you can use my code OJ20, which will give you a 20% discount on your first month or your first year of your own 𝗣𝗐𝗏𝗏 subscription. Once again, I want to thank 𝗣𝗐𝗏𝗏 for sponsoring this video and assisting me in my journey. Welcome to Cyprus and to 𝗥𝗡𝗄𝗏𝗏, which is the villa that we're staying in for the duration of our stay. But I just thought I could quickly show you around the villa. It's got 3 bedrooms, it's got 4 bathrooms, a kitchen, a living area, a lot of things. But I'll show you everything as we just head inside. And we go through this big front door and we're greeted by the kitchen. It's a very nice kitchen. It's got everything we need to cook the meals and yeah, fuel ourselves for the week. And then we keep going and we go upstairs. And then we come up to the 2nd floor and then we got the first bedroom. And this is where Alex is staying. Yeah, it's got 2 single beds. It's got this nice balcony area where you can sit in. Yeah, watch the view. And we keep going. And then as we head into Agnes's room, we have a double bed. With all the supplies that we need. We got another bathroom. We don't need to show that because it's, yeah, it's a girl's bathroom, if you know what I mean. And then we head into my room. Clean in the bathroom. More or less the same as the other. And then we got my bedroom, another double bed. Basically everything we need. We got a TV, a balcony, but I'll show you the outside once we get outside. And then we're back on the 1st floor. And then we have another bathroom, the 4th one, probably the smallest one, just a spare one if you're downstairs. Then we head into the main living room. We got a big couch, a TV. We got Alex here editing. What's up? And that's basically it. Probably spend the most amount of time here and in our own rooms, of course. And then we can head outside to probably the highlight of the entire villa. So we got a dining table, we got a nice pool, we got a shower, we got 4, what do you call them? Sunbeds. And we can keep going over here. And then we are back to where we began. And this was the entire villa. It's definitely enough for us 3. It could house 6 people if we really wanted to. And yeah, I think we all like it, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hope you like the house tour, and I don't know if I'm much of a house tour guide, but I did my best. But yeah, I'll see you in just a minute. All right, so it's the start of day 5 here in Cyprus, and it's time for another football session. We're out here on another field. That was the stadium that we did the track session around the first day here in Cyprus. But now I'm gonna put in a football session. I'm all by myself today, unfortunately, but we'll do what we can. I will focus on some speed, dribbling, finishing, maybe some passing if I can find a good wall. We'll see. We'll just get creative with what we can do and go for about 45 to 60 minutes, perhaps. But let's start off with a warm-up.
So I like to start my sessions off by just going around with the ball, juggling, dribbling, passing against walls, to get loose in my body and just to have some fun before the session truly starts. Then I went for a passing exercise where I used the only wall that I found and worked on the first touch in different scenarios. Then I moved on to a change of direction and dribbling exercise where I first go for sharp 90-degree turns before picking up the ball, going through a cone weave, taking on the last defender and having a finish at goal. To be fair, the most important thing when training alone is to be adaptable, to work with what you have in your environment and not over-obsess with what you don't have. And not be afraid to try things, to be creative, to make mistakes, because it's those mistakes that you'll learn from in the end. But as we got to the midway point of the session, we had a slight issue, you could say, which means I'll see you in the next episode.
porque sin ti yo no